Third time's the charm. I'm trying to record this video for the third time and I'm trying to gather my thoughts, but it's super difficult to do so. And especially for a video like this where it's pretty big, right? It's a pretty big event that's going to be happening on the channel, and it's not a decision I am taking very lightly at all. And I know that, I might lose a lot of subscribers because of this, and I'm willing to accept it, but I think I have to make the decision for myself, for my own sanity, and for my own enjoyment. If you guys haven't already been able to tell from the title of this video and also the thumbnail of this video, after I was gonna say from, but no, I will be doing the 1.5 anniversary, but after the 1.5 anniversary of Danmachi Battle Chronicle, I will no longer be covering the content of this game the way I have been. Now, what I mean by that is that your guides, your tier lists, your, should you summons, data downloads, news updates, so on and so forth, they will no longer be on the channel. I will tell you guys, and I will reaffirm and reassure you guys that I will still be covering Danmachi content on the channel. Full End of Water and Light, the games that may come out in the future, anime, manga, light novel, you name it, that'll still be on the channel. However, when it comes to Dankro content, the only thing I will be doing is probably reacting to any news story that they have for us to experience. Now, like I said, this isn't a decision I've taken lightly. I've been thinking about it for about 2 months now, ever since I had my vacation, and I've been thinking about it more and more and more, and it's come to a head basically in the last 3 or 4 days. I've only uploaded a video in the last couple of days, and usually I like to upload at least a video every day or every other day at least, right? And the fact that I missed 2 days says a lot, right? But I've been trying to process my thoughts, and I've been trying to also think if I should do this video right now, or maybe should I do it in the future, maybe after the 1.5 anniversary. But I think it's better to be honest right now, and better to be clear right now on my my approach and my feelings towards Danmachi Battle Chronicle, rather than trying to hide it and just seem apathetic throughout a lot of the content that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And it also kind of lifts a bit of a burden off my shoulders, because now I can record content completely freely and how I wish to, rather than being under the stress of like, do I take back the decision, do I keep the decision, so on and so forth. I'm ripping off a band-aid basically is what's happening here. I'm ripping off a band-aid. Now, like I said, this is a decision that I've been thinking about for the last 2 months basically, right? Ever since I had my vacation, I kind of was like in the position of where I'm like, do I really want to continue playing Danmachi Battle Chronicle? I came from my vacation thinking that basically, because during my vacation, I couldn't play any of my gacha games, couldn't play any game, period, right? And I missed gaming. I really did miss gaming, but I wanted to take a break and just, enjoy time with the family. It had been like a year plus, basically. I had done so much studying. I, of course, went to uni and everything. Then, of course, I started working. And then, of course, I've been doing this YouTube thing. I've not had a break for myself. So I wanted to take the opportunity to, just relax R&R, basically. Didn't do much gaming at all, if nothing. Basically, I didn't do anything. Realistically, I just watched a couple of movies, spent time with the family, watched the Formula 1. It was great. It was great in that sense. But while I did come out of it missing, Genshin, HSR, playing all these other games that I have in my Steam list and Steam library, I didn't miss Dankro at all. I actually didn't miss Dankro at all. In fact, it came to a point where in the game itself, right, if I go to my familia, one of the things that happens after a period of time is that if you are a captain and you don't log in for a long period of time, you stop becoming the captain of the familia. You actually end up stop being the captain of the familia, and it's just empty. Somebody else can pick it up and go from there, right? But personally, right, for me, right, somebody had to remind me to actually log in and get the captaincy back, so I had to do that. But for me, it kind of got me thinking a little bit in my head as like, do I really want to keep playing the game, and do I really enjoy playing the game? And at the time, of course, I was making content for the game and stuff, so I was like, what, let's stick with it, let's see how it goes and everything. And subsequently, it's one of the reasons why you started seeing me do other types of content. Like if you look at my channel right now, let me pull up my channel really quickly right now, and let's take a look at some of the videos that I've made in the last week or two, basically, or not even last week or two. Let's take a look at the month of January, because I think the month of January will give us a good idea of like how I've been trying to just changed my approach with the content, basically, right? So you've got Danmachi anime, of course, happening there, full underwater and light, one Don Crow video. But then I've been making a lot more like light novel content or manga content. I've got to still make that volume 1 manga review. I've been kind of waiting because I've been thinking about this decision, and I've been thinking about making this video first, so that's why it's not come out yet, but I will be bringing that out soon. But then you look at it, Danmachi collaboration with another game, reading my bold predictions on what will happen in the Danmachi volumes, and so on and so forth. You look at it in the last month, right? Let's take a look at the last month, right? I want to take a look at the last month, basically. So this is 4 weeks ago, right? So we'll take a look from 4 weeks ago. One Don Crow video, 2 Don Crow videos, 3 Don Crow videos, and 4 Don Crow videos. 4 in the last month. You guys have noticed that there's been a big drop off in Don Crow content, clearly, right? I know you guys have noticed it. I know you guys have noticed it and are able to tell by it. And I've been enjoying making other Danmachi content, to be quite honest, way more. And to be honest, the idea of this channel was always to make more Danmachi content than just the gacha games. It inevitably evolved into just making the gacha game side of things, of course, with Danmimo and Don Crow. But at least with Danmimo, there was good initiative to do that because, of course, of its intricacies and how involved it was with the Danmachi franchise. With Don Crow, I felt like I was going away from that because of how Don Crow was as a game. Don Crow isn't as intertwined with the franchise as Danmimo was. Now, of course, that's a topic for another day, and it's a topic we've actually discussed quite a bit on live streams as well. But it also made me think about also just generally, do I want to keep playing this game? Do I enjoy making videos on this game? There have been times where I've missed a couple of days in videos. Like, for example, the last video I made was 2 days ago. Obviously, again, like I said, a bit of the reason for the delay and, you know, the reason why there's not been a video in the last 2 days has been because I've been trying to make a decision. But more or less, there's always been like a video almost every other day, at least, right? And whenever it has come down to, oh, I have to make a Don Crow video, I end up being like, do I want to? Do I really have to? And for me, that's the start of, no, this is not working. This is not working at all. Now, you have to understand, this channel that I have right now, right? This YouTube channel, I'm not expecting it to blow up. Danmachi is such a niche thing that I don't expect it to get me like tens of thousands of subscribers. I made this channel because I want to enjoy making the content that I have been. I want to feel some sort of satisfaction. I want it as a hobby. It's a fun thing for me to do, but it has to mean that I have the satisfaction. I feel enjoyment in making the content I do. And if Don Crow isn't doing it for me, then sorry to say, but Don Crow is going to need to take a step back, and it needs to go. And it's going to take a go. And it's taking that exit. Left, right, and center. It's getting out of here, basically. It's nowhere going to be on this channel anymore outside of the story content. I made that decision. And it's the same thing with even the live streams. You guys have been noticing over the last few weeks, right? I mean, we do a Don Crow live stream every 4 or 5 days, basically, right? Because I try and still, you know, keep appearances, you could say, that, oh, I'm playing Don Crow, oh, I'm doing this with Don Crow and stuff like that. But for me, it's like, do I find joy in playing the game? No. Even the Don Crow streams are becoming shorter and shorter. Sometimes they're long enough. Sometimes they still hit the 2-hour mark that I usually stream, right? But I have to try and stretch it. Sometimes it comes to a point where at the end of the live stream for 15 minutes, we are just on the screen. I'm just talking to you guys. And I feel like I can do that in any other live stream. And the thing is, a lot of you guys will say like, oh, Gail, you're just trying to switch content to something that you might get more money from. Well, no, because if I did, then I wouldn't be making this decision. Because if you look at my Don Crow streams versus my other streams, right? I get triple the viewers in my Don Crow live streams. The fact that I'm still going to be doing Danmachi content and I'm still going to be streaming other games that are not Don Crow says that I'm not in it for the money, because I know that if I wanted to just make money and if I wanted viewers and stuff like that, I'd just keep playing Don Crow. That's not a problem for me in that sense. I'd get 20-30 viewers every stream, maybe 50 or something, 50 plus during the anniversary. I could do that very easily. But am I getting anything out of it? No, I'm not. I'm not really getting anything out of it. I'm not getting any joy out of it. I'm not having any fun. I feel apathetic. I feel really apathetic whenever I try and play this game. And so for me, I think it's come to a point where I have to make this decision that I don't want to cover the game anymore. I'm not going to be covering the game from the once the 1.5 anniversary is over. I will no longer be covering the game. The last couple of things I'll do for the 1.5 anniversary, of course, include summons, guides, talking about the units, experiencing the story, and so on and so forth. Tier list as well. I'll make one final tier list so that, you know, I'll leave you guys on a bit of a send off, basically, so that you guys can you know, basically make the you know, at least have something for a bit until, of course, maybe another content creator does it or something like that, right? Of course, I will give you guys some names if you want to see other Dancro content, right? 619 the Lord, he's got content on his channel. You can take a look at Raptor's Delight. I would recommend Raptor's Delight. He's one of the homies, one of the good guys, in my opinion. Of course, right? Pilk is amazing when it comes to, of course, you know, giving you guys more of the positive lights. And while he can rant a little bit as well and everything, he is a great person in terms of, you know, having the positivity and stuff like that. He's really, really awesome in that sense. But some of these guys are great for Dancro content. I'm pretty sure they'll be covering the game when I'm done with the game as well, right? But yeah, I would recommend these guys to check them out. Now, some of you guys might be also wondering, like, Gail, you've defended the game for so long. You've defended the game more than us sometimes. And while I have, you could say that that was defense, what I was trying to do was show you guys more so the other side of the coin, you know? Because at the end of the day, this is a JP gacha game, and it's actually quite similar to other JP gacha games. I would say more recently their decisions have been more like, no, you know, a scummy gacha game more so than an actual JP gacha game. But more or less, you know, up until the first anniversary, the decisions they were taking were what you'd expect from an average JP gacha game, quite honestly speaking. The subsequent decisions after that have been pretty horrendous, and they've not been good at all. And of course, the whole thing with, of course, you guys might be also wondering if this is something to do with Gale Wynn's decision and, you know, his letter that he sent a couple of weeks ago. And I will say not really, no, I wouldn't say it's anything to do with his decision, because at the end of the day, I'm still going to be logging into the game and I'm still going to be experiencing the story and stuff like that. This decision is completely separate from Gale Wynn's decision. My decision is more for me personally. Of course, I would urge you guys to experience better gacha games as well, like Genshin and HSR, and also, you know, even some other JP gacha games, to be quite honest. And I'll talk about one in particular that I've recently started playing again. And I want to talk about why I think that, you know, my decision was kind of exacerbated, or accelerated. You could say accelerated. Let's go with accelerated. Why my decision to stop playing the game and stop covering the game has been accelerated. But it's not because of Gale Wynn's letter. No, I think obviously Gale Wynn was right in what he said and his opinions. I do, like I said, I covered it and I've discussed it. You can go and check out that video. I disagreed with some of his points, but I agreed with a lot of the points he was making as well. And my thing is, I don't really have an issue with what he's saying. My problems lie in other aspects of the game. It doesn't feel modern in any way, shape, or form. You know, you play Genshin, you play HSR. Heck, you even play FGO and Dokkan now, and even though their gameplay is way older and way outdated, the beauty of those games is that they are actively changing. They know that they're not at the top of the ladder anymore. You know, there used to be a time where FGO, Dokkan, top dogs, number 1 and 2 every single year. With Genshin's introduction and HSR's introduction, and subsequently games like Wuthering Waves, Love and Deep Space, so on and so forth, Uma Musume, you name it, right? When these games came into the market, they knew that they had to change in order to retain the goodwill of the players, and also to ensure that they are kept up to modern standards, to where, you know, players aren't going to leave them for better games, or even the fact that they might not be able to get new players. Because at the end of the day, the lifeblood of a game is new players and retained players. Those are the two most important things for them, right? They have to ensure that those things are there. With Dancro, it never felt like they tried anything to keep the players. And in terms of trying to get new players, I'm sorry to say, but there's very much fuck all when it comes to retaining players. Or getting in new players, I should say as well. Sorry, specifically, there's fuck all there. Your only selling point is like, oh, we have a Danmachi skin on our gacha. That's about it. But what about trying to get new players in? The way I would have done, let's say for example, the best way to get new players into Danmachi Battle Chronicle would have been, and this is what Danmimo did beautifully, when the anime started airing, like guys, it's 101 mutual marketing. It's literally mutual marketing. The anime promotes you, right? Which obviously hasn't happened. Danmimo used to actually have a promotion within the anime itself. At the end, I think it will always have like a thing for Danmimo, or in the middle. I don't remember when it was. I think it was in the middle. I can't remember. But there was always a thing attached for Danmimo in the anime. Dankro didn't have anything. So you're not able to get your eyes onto new players potentially via the anime, because otherwise, you know, the only new players we got from the anime are people who actively searched out for like, oh, Danmachi game, and this probably popped up for them, right? But then second of all, in your game itself, to keep the players, to keep the new players interested and stuff, give a good beginner bonus. I mean, like, come on, really, are we saying this is good? You have to challenge Battle Arena like 50,000 times to basically get anything good, and it takes you 50 years to get through the beginner steps. But second of all, the anime collaboration, a date seer should have been given for free. How hard is it for you to give a fucking unit for free? It's not costing you a lot, and people will still summon for dupes and shit. Go for it. And then not only that, you make that unit limited as well. So good luck for that person to at least get the unit, because in Danmimo, the anime collaboration units were non-time limited. So if you were like, oh, you can't get this unit now, but if you wait a couple of months, they will be added to the general pool, and then you can get this unit inevitably. Duh, come on, how hard is that to do? Things like that, where it just didn't do anything to keep to get new players in, or to keep those new players, or to keep even older players as well, in my opinion. And this is where I'll bring in like Dokkan, for example, or even I'll bring in Dokkan, because I that is a game I've returned to after 3 years. 3 years I've not played the game, and I feel like the game's completely changed. You know, they've completely rehauled the UI. The UI is completely changed. The summon system's completely changed. They've added pity into the game. They've completely changed also how the events work, and so on and so forth. They've actually made events interesting as well. Challenging content's been made a little bit more fun from what I've been able to tell so far. And I'm like, if it's easy for a 10-year-old game to do this, a game that's a year and a half old, or not even a year old, we've given so much feedback, we've given so many recommendations. The JP player base has also given their recommendations as well, and we're still stuck with the same old, or if not even worse mechanics and game modes than before. The only changes that have been made relatively nicely has been Magic Stone fucking Scramble, and the thing is, they couldn't even fuck that up even more if they could. Like, it was already so bad that the only way was up. So I'm not even gonna give them praise for that, because it took them a year and year plus to actually fix this shit. Come on, like, it's so annoying. It is so frustrating in that sense, right? And then not only that as well, like I've said before, for me it feels like it's a gacha game with a Danmachi skin attached to it. It's not a Danmachi game with a gacha attached to it, is the problem. And that, I think, is my biggest problem, and it's one of the reasons why I just cannot enjoy this game anymore. I'm enjoying playing HSR, I'm enjoying playing Genshin, I'm enjoying playing Dokkan. It's not like I don't enjoy playing gacha games anymore, but for me personally, I think, you know, it's come to a point where I just cannot, you know, bring myself to cover this game anymore, or enjoy making content on this game anymore. I can't enjoy the game. If I can't enjoy playing the game, there's no way I can enjoy making content on this game. So I think with that, I hope I could, you know, give you guys an indication on why I've made this decision, and the reasons behind it. Again, I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. There's a reason why I also didn't stream today, because I've been trying to record this video, and every time I feel like I wasn't being clear, or I would fumble on my words, or just generally basically not do well in getting my point across. But TLDR, after the 1.5 anniversary, no content from Dankro. I will still be reacting to stories and stuff, but no content in terms of news updates and stuff like that. I will still be covering Danmachi content, and of course anime, manga, light novels, so on and so forth. And yeah, like I said, I I just feel like it's time for me to move on from this game. You know, it's time for me to move on from this game. And yeah, like I said, tomorrow's live stream, I will be covering this topic a little bit more. If you guys want to come by, then I will be playing some other game probably. But if you guys want to come by and talk about it, I'll probably title it as well. You know, just my quitting discussion or whatever it is. And you guys can come by and chat with me then. But yeah, I appreciate all of y'all for tuning into this video. Once again, I apologize if I've disappointed you, and I don't mind if you do decide to unsubscribe. I hope you don't, because we'll still be covering Danmachi content, but I know some of you guys are here for Danmachi Chronicle exclusively. But this is a decision I have to make for my own sanity. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.